Africans are not shocked by the Epstein files because we already know that these things happen. And blood sacrifices are real. We pretty much know that. There's so many different type of sacrifices. Some of them we don't even know. But we all know that the greatest sacrifice of them all is sacrificing the person that you love the most, which is typically your children, your mom, your dad, your only brother, your only sister, people like that. You get wealthy people that are very greedy, and those are the ones that choose to sacrifice anybody and everybody, and they literally don't care.
Shalom to the house of Israel. Shalom to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, as mentioned in James 1 and 1. Shalom to the heathen, mentioned in 2nd Ezra chapter 2. Verse 33 and 34 is hearing and understanding and having a shepherd in the end of the world. Shalom to all the sons of Adam. But Israel first. Okay, this is the book of Jasher. We're gonna jump in the book of Jasher, man. We're gonna call this blood sacrifice the Nimrod files. You dig? We're gonna pull up Nimrod's file and look at his wicked ass a little. Look at his heathen, wicked Hamite ass a little bit. Little Gilgamesh. You dig? We're gonna find out about him a little bit. What type of time he was on? The great Nimrod. You understand? We're about to find out about him. Okay. You referred to the book of Joshua twice. Once in the 10th chapter of Joshua, verse 13, and once in 2 Samuel 1 and 18. Two times the Bible witnesses to the validity of the book of Joshua. So let's go to verse 8. Let's go to chapter 8. We're going to start at 1. It said, and it was in the night that Abram was born, that all the servants of Terah and all the wise men of Nimrod and his conjurers came and ate and drank in the house of Terah, and they rejoiced with him on that night. So they was kicking it. You know what I'm saying? He had a baby. Terah, a Shemitic, individual of Shemitic descent, was kicking it with these Hamites. You understand? It says, and when all the wise men and conjurers went out from the house of Terah, they lifted up their eyes toward heaven that night to look at the stars, and they saw, and behold, one very large star came from the east and ran in the heavens, and he swallowed up the 4 stars from the 4 sides of the heavens. And all the wise men of the king and his conjurers were astonished at the sight. And the sages understood this matter, and they knew its import. And they said to each other, this only betokens the child that has been born to Terah this night, who will grow up and be fruitful and multiply and possess all the earth, he and his children forever. And he and his seed will slay great kings and inherit their lands. Okay, we know, let's get technical now. We know Abraham's seed is Isaac and Ishmael, Jacob and Esau, Keturah's sons. These are the guys who this prophecy is about. The seed of Abraham. That's conclude Esau too. Was the stars lying? The stars didn't lie right there. So I'm going to paraphrase a lot of this. Okay, the wizards and all that, they peep game, they seen the stars, and they said, we need to go tell Nimrod, because if Nimrod find out about this and we didn't tell him, he gonna bust our ass. So I'm paraphrasing all that. Now let's get to the part. This where it get nasty. Okay. This after they tell Nimrod this is a suggestion to him. It said this is Joshua chapter 8, verse 13. It says, and if it seemeth good to the king to give his father value for this child, we will slay him before he shall grow up and increase in the land, and his evil increase against us, that we and our children perish through his evil. And the king heard their words, and they seemed good in his sight, and he sent and called for Terah, And Terah came before the king. It says, and the king said to Terah, I have been told that a son was yesternight born to thee, and after this manner was observed in the heavens at his birth. So he said, man, the wizards and shit say, man, he gonna tear our ass up if we let him live. That's what the Nimrod say. In verse 16, it say, and now therefore give me the child that we may slay him before his evil springs up against us, and I will give thee for his value the house full of silver and gold. So here go, like the African brawl that we just watched. She said that's how you get your bag, slaughtering your kids. So that ain't nothing new to slaughtering your loved ones. That ain't nothing new to the Hamite, to the African. You know what I'm saying? But the scriptures talk about the Canaanites being on that, but this the Cushite edition. Nimrod was an Ethiopian, a Cushite. You did. They wicked as hell too, lying about they got the Ark of the Covenant. Man, get the fuck out. Get out of here with that. Okay. So they lying too, and so as we understand, they offering Abraham's father Terah is being offered the bag for Abraham's life. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing new to the African about slaying his children and his loved ones and his family members and shit. Nothing new. And I'm gonna tell. Okay, no, I ain't gonna say that. Okay. So Terah been offered as much gold and silver as he can put in his house. So, that's a bag. He finna, he gonna get the Ferrari, you know what I'm saying, and get the Testarossa and the big slick Rick jewelry, the truck jewelry and shit. You know what I'm saying? If he was with the bread, you know what I'm saying, if he was gonna get the scratch, you know what I'm saying? And so we're gonna take a look at how Terah handled this. Cause you're gonna see some Jacobian action in here, some Wichita switch. You're gonna see that Shemite slickness that we know for. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see that Shemitic cunning that we know for. And so I'm gonna paraphrase a little bit of this. Read Joshua chapter 8. It ain't gonna kill you to read nothing. So basically Terah would say, man, give me a little time to think on this. Give me a little time to figure out something to whoop your stupid ass. You understand what I'm saying? But Terah do a little something here though. So I'm gonna jump to 33, verse 33. It says, and Terah hastened as the king was urgent, as this thing was urgent from the king, and he took a child from one of his servants, which his handmaid had born to him that day. It's kind of saying he had another shorty on. He was on Stefan Diggs here, so he had another shorty that was just born by some servant. He said, and Terah hastened as the thing was urgent from the king, and he took a child from one of his servants, which his handmaid had born to him that day. And Terah brought the child to the king and received value for him. It says, and the Lord was with Terah in this matter, that Nimrod might not cause Abram's death. And the king took the child from Terah, and with all his might dashed his head to the ground. For he thought it had been Abram. And this was concealed from him from that day, and it was forgotten by the king, as it was the will of providence not to suffer Abraham's death. So when a sister telling, when this Hamite is telling that story about the Africans, it ain't nothing, the Epstein files ain't nothing new to the Africans because they know what's happening. You understand what I'm saying? The Africans is an ancient people. They way more ancient than the Israelites. Egypt and all the Hamites, they was all doing their thing when Jacob hit the scene. You understand what I'm saying? They was established. So they saying it ain't no new thing, and obviously Nimrod was the first real boss after the flood, wasn't he? Hmm? Sure was. Yes, he was. And he was an African. He was a Hamite. He would be a nigga. I'm Nigerian. I'm rich. You know what I'm saying? You niggas lazy. He would be. That would be his conversation. You know what I'm saying? But he worshiping the devil, and uh, this is what he was. You know, this is his bag. You know, but you see, he took a baby and cracked it on the ground like a chicken. You know what I'm saying? He thought it was Abraham.